As we all remember from history, in the 1st century AD, the Roman Emperor Claudius invaded the British Isles. He defeated the local Celtic tribes of the Britons and turned their lands into his provinces. However, the Romans conquered only the territories of modern England and Wales. But northern Scotland and neighbouring island Ireland were never captured. What is the reason? Why did the brave legionaries for 400 years of their stay in foggy Albion fail to establish control over these close lands? To understand this, you need to understand why the Romans came to Britain at all. And everything is simple. The Roman authorities were eager not only to conquer the Britons themselves, but to punish them for their constant support of the Gallic brothers who lived on the territory of present-day France. The Britons completely supplied the Galli rebels with weapons, provided them with shelter and food on their islands. In general, the goal was to end Britain support for the Gauls. Well, along the way, capture their valuable tin mines, fertile fields. The Roman army also tried to conquer Scotland, for almost 200 years. In the 1st century AD, even a whole 9th Roman legion was used under the personal command of the ruler of Roman Britain, Gnaeus Agricola. The navy was also involved. The Romans managed to pass all of Scotland from the southern edge to the very north. However, the local tribes, the mysterious mountaineers, the Picts, offered the Romans more fierce guerrilla resistance. The legionaries failed to capture these strange barbarians, although they inflicted a heavy defeat on them in the Battle of the Grappia Mountains. Rome also lacked the strength to deploy its garrisons in the Scottish mountains. According to the most conservative estimates, it took about 3 fresh legions for Rome to completely conquer Scotland and Ireland. Great Rome could no longer gather such an army to the ends of the world. Moreover, the Picts themselves turned into endless raids on the civilian part of Britain already controlled by Rome. So the Roman emperors, Antoninus Pius and Hadrian, had to urgently build 2 defensive ramparts in the inhospitable north of modern England, one after the other. By the way, partially survived to this day. With Ireland, everything was more complicated than with Scotland, and she is far away from Rome, and the land is poorer. Well, the population, the tribes of cattle, are much more warlike. Although, apparently, the local Celts were able to find some common language with Rome on the principle, we do not touch you, us. Therefore, the Romans did not undertake a single military campaign against Ireland. At Cape Dramana in Ireland, archaeologists found an ancient settlement full of Roman coins, antique utensils and jewelry. At one time there was a version that it was built by the Romans, yet once landed on Irish soil. But there is no evidence of such a campaign in the annals of history. Therefore, now experts believe that just rich Celts lived here, who traded closely with the Roman Empire. The Romans also had some important influence on the everyday culture of the Irish. For example, the Irish artisans clearly whistled from the Roman engineers the systems of building roads and minting coins. It is known that the aforementioned commander Agricola boasted that he would capture Hibernia, as the Romans called Ireland, with the forces of just 1 single legion. However, he received a post in another part of the Roman Empire. Therefore, he did not realize his daring idea in life. Obviously, the Romans were clearly hindered from advancing to Scotland and Ireland by their precarious position in the already conquered Britain itself. The local guys were desperately buzzing, and for all 4 centuries of Roman power, they were not really Romanized, unlike those Gauls who became French. In general, to put it simply, the Romans simply did not get their hands on Ireland and Scotland, and the strength was no longer enough. However, the claim that the Romans did not attempt to conquer Ireland was challenged in the late 20th century. To the north of modern Dublin, archaeologists have unearthed a fort, covered on 3 sides by rocks, and the fourth in ancient times was protected by 3 large moats. Fort Droymendac, named after the cape on which it is located, is sometimes interpreted as the remains of Roman fortifications. Here, archaeologists have found many artifacts of Roman origin, brooches, copper ingots, and coins minted during the reign of the emperors Titus, Trajan and Hadrian, from 74 to 138 AD. Why didn't the Roman Empire, which never missed a chance to add another province, seize Ireland? A contemporary of Tacitus, the Roman geographer Pomponius Mela wrote, "Beyond Britain there is an island of almost the same size, but of a regular oblong shape. The climate here is unfavorable for crops, but grasses grow very well on this island. The grass here is not only thick, but also so juicy that the cattle eat up in a small part of the day. If the animals are not taken away from the pasture in time, they overeat and die. The inhabitants of the island are ignorant people, they know less about the virtues than any other people." The Romans did not see the opportunity to establish normal agriculture in Ireland. They also did not strive to convert local residents into slavery, considering them even more savages than the British Celts. It was quite obvious that the Roman colonists would not be able to get along peacefully with the natives of Ireland. This means that a permanent military presence will be required. Unlike Britain, with its tin mines in Cornwall, Ireland simply did not have enough valuable resources to justify the cost of maintaining an occupying force. Therefore, there was no point in winning it.